Here we go, another video. AXP, American Express. This is an interesting chart. If you go back to 2020, you can barely see it here. This was at 100. Big move to 200. It consolidated for a while, 2023. Found this low near, what's that, 160, 140-ish. And then this took off in 24. It was all the way to 320. Big move down. Of course, January, pretty much to April, almost everything dropped with the tariffs. And this was at a low of 220. And then we start to move up, 330. Comes to a sideways. It'll move here down to 290. Up to 350. Then on this candle, we went to 315. Took off again, 370. This was a nice little drop to 334. And where we're at now, pretty much 380. What was the high here? 387. Now, you have some lower lines all the way back 23. You can see right here, there's a lower line. Here's an inner line now from 24 and that April low. This is forming a giant rising wedge. I'm not sure what this means for the market or anything else. As far as when you have rising wedges, eventually it's going to go down. It did here. It did right here. And this was a move here. Now, if you look at the weekly chart, you can look back. This actually broke out. It looks like it was, 100. Then it broke out over 150. You can see, look at the low here too on the weekly. See how deep we were? That's when you buy. Any deep low on the weekly, you buy. And then we went higher. Look at the low here. Low get higher again. 1, 2, get higher again. 3, move 4. Well, you're running out of room here. What's going to happen here? That's a rising wedge here, or symmetrical, ascending triangle. And what's going to happen here? You're going to eventually fall. So the moves keep going up, but you're running out of room on the high here. That's basically what I'm trying to say here. So, take that move. Look at the lines here. And then it's formed a very tight wedge up top. So you can see that with the line. You can't continue to be overbought unless it's just going sideways pretty much. And if you look at the weekly going back to 2020, look at this. Here's the high line. And here's your inner line now. And look at this space. See this? It's getting smaller up here. So am I saying a big drop? I'm not saying that, unless that would happen. We'll see when it happens. But here's the monthly too. Look how the monthly. See this one up here and then a nice drop. That was a decent move down. We could get another move down. Maybe, I don't know when it's going to start, but we'll have to see and wait for the signal. Now look at this in the quarterly chart. Going back to 1986, American Express with a split. Then it pretty much broke 50, and the big move was over 100. That was 2019, and the trend has been up. Now, what do you notice here, though? Look how low and deep on 2009 you had stochastics. The low was 508, and look at the low here. In 2016, we went to 25, then another low. You went to 39, then you went to 55. So each low from 2009 got higher. Isn't that crazy? Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now look we're very high. So a drop could put it in. If we kept getting higher here, the last one was 55. We're at 93. Where could it drop you to 70 or something if something happens in the market? That would be the next drop. So it is really interesting. Look at this wedge form. See this up and right here and yearly. You can see we're way up here, American Express. All right, so going back to the daily. Now, if we get some sort of little drop down here, I would look for this right here in November. This candle, a low 334, November 18th. That's where if we drop something on this chart specifically, I would look for that low, the bounce from there. And then if you didn't, you go much lower. But that's what it is, because this wedge is rising, and you could easily see it move out. Because rising wedge is a classic pattern. It's always bearish. It can get neutral for a while, but this will come down at some point, and that's what I would look for here. But noticing how the deep weekly and monthly chart, it's all aligned. It's absolutely incredible. And looking at American Express, here you can see 258 billion. It's a powerhouse, of course. All rich people own American Express cards. Dividend 3.28, dividend growth 17.6%. That's pretty solid. Institutions owe 86%. Then you can see here 10-year performance 440%, 5-year 218, 3-year 149%. And where's the other charts here? EPS growth. You can see here, what's the yearly at 10%? It's about 10, 12%. So it's pretty solid. But you can see, even owning this long-term, good dividend, 10 years, this is going to put in, solid gains over time. So American Express is interesting. But we'll watch this chart, and we'll see if this comes down, maybe the next 3 months, a bigger drop. All right, that's it. Please subscribe to Like Human Trades on YouTube. Smash the like button. Peace.